Hey all you 3D printing cool cats and kittens, it's another episode of Average Shows 3D. I'm your host Fergie. Today we have a special episode. We're going to dedicate this episode to a father and son team from Sarasota, Florida. They're trying to start up a business and they're doing 3 designs a week. 3 designs a week. It's incredible. They are posting them on Thingiverese, so that's where you can find them. They specialize in fantasy weapons, weapons from games, weapons from old cartoons. Really great designs, really innovative. So let's get to it. Now before we get into those designs, I'd like to go over some prints I've done this week. The first one's what you're looking at now. This is Murray, the demonic skull from Monkey Island. I downloaded this from my mini factory. I do get notifications of when they have new featured prints coming out. If you don't have that available on your phone, definitely recommend it. There's some great designs that I would have completely missed if my mini factory hadn't pointed them out. Now, this is done in a 0.2 layer height. I've got a 30% infill because the kids are going to be handling it, of course. So I want it to be a little bit more durable than just 10%. This was done on an Ender 2. I did increase the size up to 125 millimeters because I wanted to fill the build volume of the Ender 2. And I just used some generic white PLA that I got. And it's like $9 PLA. But you know what? As you're taking a look at this, the Ender 2 did such an amazing job. You can't even see any of the layers right now. If you rub your finger across it, you can barely feel any of the layers stacking up on top of each other. The Ender 2 is still one of the best high definition printers that I have in my arsenal. And by high definition, I mean that when it prints out, even in medium quality, it looks like you did it in some kind of super cool high def printer, which I did not. You know that the Ender 2s are only about $160, $170 if you get the European version on GearBest. For a printer that's below $200, an incredible print. One of the other things I picked up today is a new measure. I've been using this. Okay, this is what I've been using for calipers. When I'm measuring things, this goes up and down. You can hardly even read the printing. This is probably like 30, 40 years old. I don't even think it's mine. I think it may have been my father's. So I finally splurged, and I went on Amazon. I got this. Okay? Nico, it's like less than 15 bucks, I think, somewhere around $15. I'll leave a link. You get a great plastic carrying case. You open it up. One of the reasons I got this is because it's got big numbers and I have old eyes. The inside of the case is padded. Pretty cool. Here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Turn it on. It goes millimeters and inches. Here we go. You can see how big that display is. It's pretty incredible. So for a budget set of measures, this is pretty cool. I do want to get on, maybe do a little bit more designing on online. Tinkercad. I've been watching a couple videos. They're really innovative and easy to use. So those are going to be essential for trying to make some things. Now, the other thing I got, which I'm really excited about, is, and clip this. Okay, so I went crazy on Amazon. I got an Anycubic Ultra Base plate for my CR10. It's 310 millimeters by 310 millimeters. If any of you know the Ultra Base, This is incredible. So you have to use this as a heated bed. You can't do it without heating it up for PLA. And when you heat it up, all of the texture expands, right? And so the PLA goes into the design, in the texture glass, holds really tight. You don't need anything else. You don't need hairspray. You don't need a glue stick. You just need the Ultra Base. And then when it cools down, that same finish contracts, gets smaller, and so everything that was holding your print on this plate is no longer holding it because it contracts, and the things pop right off. So there's no more scraping, no more pulling, there's no more things getting stuck on there. It just comes right off. Pretty incredible. That was here. $34.99, 35 bucks. I think it's a really good update because now you'll no longer have to worry about things sticking to your bed. In fact, I want to try some PLA to see if the design will stop it from warping. But I have a problem with my CR10, and the problem is it keeps on clogging. All right, the nozzle keeps on clogging up after 10-15 minutes, so it is over time. I have a feeling that my filament gets backed up in from my heating chamber into the cooling chamber, and it blocks up my my Bowden tube. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I was printing out one of these guys, and he got halfway through, and then he stopped. He didn't finish the print. Really frustrated. It happened sometime overnight. I didn't even catch it, and I can't trust this to do long prints. So what's the solution? I got a Micro Swiss all metal kit for the CR10. It includes an aluminum block. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, the aluminum block. Now inside the aluminum block is something really incredible. It's a titanium heat break. And because it's titanium, it's going to thermally isolate the heating block, which is here. There. It isolates the heating block from the cooling block. And so nothing will back up. It does come with the link. It comes with a 4mm hardened nozzle. So what does this mean? Well, it means that your Bowden tube in a normal CR10 has to go all the way down to where the nozzle is going to be. Because if you don't, if you leave space between where the nozzle is and where the Bowden tube is, the filament will back up in that gap, and then it will back up into your Bowden tube and stop the print. So when you're looking at the hot end of a CR10, you could take the Bowden tube and, if you have the nozzle out, push it all the way through where the nozzle was outside of the heating block. With this one, because it has our titanium separator right in there, if you take the Bowden tube and slip it in place, it stops at the separator, the titanium gap. And then from there, the PLA will come through the heater block into the nozzle. That should resolve all the issues we're having with any kind of clogging. Because it's titanium and all metal, it does allow me to print really hot, because I want to get to printing PETG, and it does come with a silicone cover instead of that wrap plastic stuff that they have on there, to make sure that you don't burn yourself. So this was a little pricey. It was $63 on Amazon, but you know, I think I'm worth it. So we're going to try to install this now. Here's the deal with the heating block. Let me go ahead and take it out. It has two holes in it. Here we go. Now that hole is where the nozzle is going to go, and these two holes here, the big one is for your heating element, and the smaller one is for your thermistor, the thing that measures the temperature. Now the wires for the thermistor, very, very delicate. If you're not very careful when you take it out, you can easily break them, and then you've got another 20 bucks on your hand that you have to buy to fit it in there. So you can install just these components here, as well as this. Not replace the aluminum block, heater block, just use the block you already have. You'll still get the benefits of that titanium spacer even without the heater block. I don't know which way I'm going to go yet till I open it up. I may just skip installing this and just put this in place, screw this in for the nozzle and be done with it, because I definitely don't want to mess around with my CR10 and then not have it print after it's been giving me a hard time for an entire month. So we'll see once I open it up, and I'll show you pictures as we're going through that. Okay, so let's get into A Skewed View 3D. So here is their profile on Thingiverse. As you can see, they have like Man of War Mace, they have an axe, they have He-Man shield, Hulk battle hammer, mainly fantasy swords, weapons, shields. I decided to go with the Hulk, so I went with this one here. There you go. So let's take a look over on, there you go. Okay, so this is my 3D slicer. Now, I had some concerns when I was going to print this out. As you can see, right here, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. There's a lot of detail on the sides, right? So I really couldn't print this flat on its side. You can't really print it just flat on the bottom because it does extend past. So I'm going to have to print this in midair. So it's not 100% printer friendly, but if you take a look at the top here, you'll see that that's less than a 45-degree angle, and because of that, I only need supports from the plate on up. I don't need supports here, which is kind of nice. Now, when I first downloaded this, it did download at about 4, almost 5 millimeters. So it gave me that warning that said that it's too small and do I want to convert it to inches. Do not convert it to inches, keep it in millimeters, and then double click on it, and then you can make it bigger. So I'm doing it at about 109 millimeters tall. I'm going to use the CR10. I'm going to use something really cool. I just got this in. I've got some Xyrotech gold filaments. Just got it in. I'm going to try it out on this. Here we go. This should look really great on the Hulk battle axe. So I'm looking forward to printing with this. So let's get to it. So let's see how it turned out. Here we have Thor's axe that he used in the movie. You notice there's a small hole here. I think that's something to do with my slicer. It didn't recognize the wall that it put in place. So that's something I'm going to have to adjust on my printer. I did print this on a Ender 2. It was medium quality, so it was 0.2. And I just used some PLA. It's Zyro Gold, which, God, I really love that color. Now, I was trying to decide the best way to print this, because you can't print it flat on its base because it has these great details right here, here, and here. So I printed it like this with a pretty good base. And because I printed it like this, if we zoom in a little bit, you'll notice that the blade came out really great. You can see the texture on the blade. You can see the different planes. Because there's no support material here, it came out really looking great. Also, there's no support material here, so that also came out great. The back came out really fantastic. So all in all, I'm really happy with the print. I'll just have to reprint it with the sidewall, calculate it in just a little bit better, give myself some more parameters. I think I only had 2 parameters. I need to go a little bit more on that for this. Even the top, which has a little ridge here with a little bit of support, we're talking only 1 millimeter, the ridge came out really distinct and really well. So, everything on this turned out great. I'm definitely going to look forward to doing some more of his prints. The other thing I've been working on is maker coins. I use, here we go, Tinkercad. And with Tinkercad, the first thing I tried was a 1-inch. As you can see, it's kind of tiny. You can't see any of the resolution on this. None of the letters came out correctly. So I tried a, here we go. Tried 2 inches, a little bit better. You can see some of the letters didn't complete. I tried 4 inches. Now 4 inches, look at this. Although it's as big as a coaster for a can of soda, you can see this fits right in there like that, which is actually kind of cool. I didn't know it would do that, but it fits right in there like that. So I'm using it as a coaster. Now that at 4 inches, the letters came out crystal clear. I'm really happy with that. But that's not enough. I said I need something a little bit more than that. So let's go and take a look at what we're doing now. Yeah, look at that. This is a CR10. The CR10 with the nozzle was constantly clogging up. It was only a matter of time before the filament backed up into the Bowden tube where it was cooler. Eventually the PLA would harden and it couldn't go any further. So I updated it with the Swiss Micro hot end with that titanium block. So there's a titanium block separating the heating end from the cooling. It turned out really well. As you can see, I went ahead and got some Ultra Base on this from Amazon. And then I tried to dial it in. Now my first couple prints didn't go so well, nothing stuck. I have Ultra Base. How could it not stick with Ultra Base? I kept on lowering or raising the bed higher and higher so that the nozzle clearance was tighter and tighter. At one point I thought it was actually going to scrape against the Ultra Base. Just when I thought I couldn't go any further, it was so close I almost couldn't see the gap between the bed and the nozzle. It started holding great. So now it went from being a real pain in the butt to my most reliable printer. So this is a 24-hour print. It is 375 millimeters. I'm sorry, 275. 375 would be like out to here. It's 275. I gave a little bit extra so for the overhang. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. It should be a really great plaque similar to this. So that does it for another episode of Average Joe's 3D. As always, go ahead and subscribe below so that we can grow the channel more and more. I have over 30 subscribers. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to my channel and who's leaving comments and enjoying the videos. You guys have a great day.